It's cold today. A nice cup of tea. Got me out on. Got a scarf on today, jumper, t-shirt, vest tucked in the pants, just like you used to do when you was a kid. You can't go wrong with that, can you? Anyway, I'm going to go and drive out now, and it's a fairly big ceiling. I can't remember, I looked at it ages ago, but a ceiling to do today, so that's what you'll see me doing in a minute. I'm just going to sit and wait for the van to warm up and have a nice cup of tea. Ooh, it's a lovely fucking brew. Oh, juicy. But, I was just driving along looking at houses, and I see the for sale sign outside them. I thought, how do you sell a for sale sign? Do you put a for sale sign on it? I suppose that would work, wouldn't it? I've pulled up at the job. What does that like? I pulled up at the job. It's weird talking to cameras on YouTube. It's really odd. You feel like you've got an audience in front of you. Although you can cut it out and edit it as much as you want. You always start off like, pulled up at the job. I never talk like that really. You know, I wouldn't go indoors and say, yeah, I'd like a cup of tea. Yeah, maybe a little bit of toast. But I pulled up at the job. So let's scrap all that bollocks and just try and talk like a normal human. It's hard. It's really hard. Because you feel like you're being watched even though you're not. I'll probably cut all this out. I'll watch it back later, and if I think it's worth leaving in for any reason at all, then I will. I'll just keep doing that. Then I will. God, it's weird doing this YouTube stuff. It's quite enjoyable, good fun. But yeah, I don't know how many people are interested in seeing me working all day long, but I tend to go home and watch other people working, which is a bit odd, really. I suppose could be watching anything really. But I go home and watch other plasterers plastering and other painters painting, carpenters mucking about with wood. Can't get enough of it, can we? All want to finish work early, and all we do is get home early and watch more people working. But I suppose it's quite satisfying watching other people working where you've got a cup of tea and chocolate biscuit in your hand anyway. So I just knocked at the door and no answer. I booked this a couple of weeks ago. Booked it for this day. It's Friday the 10th of January. Booked it. It's cold out here, it's horrible. No one's answering the door. There's a little dog barking, and part of me's thinking, oh, I really hope they are out and I can just go home because it's a proxy cold day. But then you still got to do the job, but that's all right, doesn't matter. So what's it going to be? Jeopardy, is it? If they're in bed and you've got to ring them and get them up, I don't think he's that sort of bloke really. Seems like a sort of upright citizen, sort of bloke that wouldn't be in bed. He may have forgot and gone to work. But yeah, I'm not bothered either way. I just want him to open the door now because I like to be in the door for 8. It's about 8:15 now. But I really like to be walking in the front door for 8. Otherwise, ridiculously, if I'm not, the way my crazy head works, I feel like I'm behind. It doesn't matter at all if I get in there at 8 or 9, but I'm so regimented about getting on the job at 8 o'clock. If I'm not, I just feel like I'm chasing my tail. But okay, I thought I've just seen another message pop up there. That's someone else want a little job done. So we'll see if we get in this job. If not, I'll go home and slap the old chicken. Okay, I'm still sitting here, getting bored now really. Got to make that decision, haven't you? Do you go home or just sit here for a bit longer? I've done that before. When you drive home and you get halfway home and then suddenly they ring, oh sorry, I was just dropping the kids off, I just had to pop down the paper shop, I'm back now mate. And you've got to turn around and come, you've got to gear yourself all up ready to start work again, because by the time you're halfway home you've come down, you're deflated from work and you're thinking, oh, I can go home and do this, do that. But anyway, I'm bored, so what I thought I'd do is, I don't know if you can pick this up, this banging. I'm going to do a bit of drum and bass on my what is it, accelerator and clutch pedal. So let's see if we can do a bit of drum and bass. Ready? Jungle is massive, wicked, wicked. Jungle is massive, wicked, wicked. It's 8:30 now. I'm going to go and get one more knock on the door, See if they answer. I'm going to knock. Anyone that's been in my situation out there will know that you don't really want to knock on this door because you're ready to go home. And when you do knock on the door, you're going to knock really quietly. So if they don't open it, you can say, I did knock, but you know in your heart of hearts you didn't give it your full knock because you don't want it to open now. You're pissed off, you want to go home. So I'm going to really gently just knock on the door, and then when they ring me up later and say, where was you, mate? I was in. You can honestly in your own head say, I did knock 2 or 3 times, mate, but you didn't come to the door. Although you did knock, you know, almost with a feather. You've still knocked. You know you're not lying. It's all mind games, isn't it? Right, let's knock. On another note, I just got a message from a job that I did in, oh God, about October, and I just decorated the house. People hadn't moved in yet. And down the staircase was one of these oak handrails that's sort of flat to the wall. I think it's got like concealed fixings in it with like a plug on top of the screw head. And I noticed one of them was a little bit loose. Nothing that I'd done was already like that. But I knew this family were moving in, and I'd already said to them, oh, anything you need doing, just give us a shout. And I looked at this little bit of wobbly handrail and I thought, I really hope they don't ask me to do that, because it's got concealed like oak plugs over the top of the screws, and I just thought that would be a right pig of a job to fix. Anyway, that was back in October. I just got a message this morning. They've asked me to do some sealant around the bath, new sealant, which is fair enough, easy enough. And then he's just sent me a picture of that handrail. Oh, it seems to be a bit loose. Anything you can do with it? I can't say no. I look like a right idiot. So now, the job I looked at all that time ago and thought, that looks like a bug of a job. I've got to do it now. It always happens. When you do this sort of work, after so many years, you pick up a sixth sense of what's going to come your way. You see things and you think, I bet it's going to come and fucking bite me on the arse. And it generally does. And it did. Just knocked again, rung the bell, done the door, but I did it properly. I thought I won't do the old feather touch. I'll give it a proper knock. There's a little dog in here barking its head off. Surely they must be out. It's not a massive house. You'd hear me knocking or you'd hear that dog barking. You'd be aware of it. So it looks like I'm going home. So the video I'd planned for you is just this. Might make an interesting video. Just someone trying to get into a job. Letting out my thoughts while I'm wasting time. It is cold today. So I don't know what I'll do. I'll go home and I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just sitting here waffling now. I've got a nice cup of coffee with me. Nice cup of coffee nice. He's just turned up. He's just pulled up in his car. I'm going in. It is cold. Right, look at the PVA. Should have brought that in last night. That's a bugger that is, because you don't want to dilute it too much with warm water. In the end, I stuck with the PVA. I didn't bother with the SBR. I just got my little fan heater out, stuck it against a bucket for about sort of half hour odd while I was scraping down the ceiling. I don't really like defrosting it with warm water, because all you're doing is watering the PVA down even more then. But I quite like to use it quite thick, really. But yeah, you can see it worked a treat. Done the job. Oh, fairly big ceiling. Scrape down, skim. Let's wait you on the old time lapse while I do a bit of scraping. This is Apollo Control. The now. 34,000 per second. Now, at the building, 500. all scraped down, all cleared up, and the carpet's going, but I'll always clear that fallout from the scraping Artex off. I think I said before, I don't like it getting stuck to your feet and walking it about the house. So just a case of 2 coats of PVA on their slot, which is all thawed out now, and then skim it. I should probably chuck a handful of bonding in with the first batch of skim, just to fluff it out a bit, just to take out any depths of the Artex there. Anyway, let's crack on. All mixed up and ready to go. I like these buckets, these big ones. Tool Station, I think I've got that, but they're good. They just, you know, the old bucket drill. It just holds in there nice. Anyway, I put on a little time lapse. GoPro's up there, but not got a lot of battery going on in it. Epoxy things are, which I never bought it really. Phones are better than a GoPro. Anyway, I'm going to chuck this on and just hopefully show you the finished result.
This is Apollo Control, the velocity is falling off now. Immediately after shutdown, we're showing 34,000 feet per second now, but the altitude building, 512 nautical miles.
So there we go, all done. Another one down. I'm glad he turned up in the end. It's another one off the books, isn't it? All nice and neat around the edges. Washed all the walls down. Like to leave it as tidy as possible. Although they did have brand new furniture in there. Look at that, like to cover that up. That's never fun. But yeah, another good one done. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you again. Bye bye.